Yeah, peeps, it's Tersse back in old squat box once again. This is going to be like a religious video, but not just religious, it's going to be talking about other things as well, like I normally do. You know, it's a shit stream from fucking Tersse, right? So, I mean, I'm not a theologian, right? I'm not a theologian. I'm not a fucking impressively high-powered fucking brain, you know what I mean? I'm not, you know, an use that fucking word. I'm not an academician or an academical fucking, you know, high brain, right? I'm a normal, I would call myself a normal fucking person, you know. I mean, I'm not a statistician or a mathematician, but, you know, I would think that if you were to, you know, consider how many people are theologians or academicians, or what you call them, and you compare them to all the other normal people, you probably find it's like 1 million to fucking 1. You know what I mean? You know, there's about 1 million normal people like me to 1 theologian and 1 fucking statistician and 1 mathematician and 1 fucking academic, right? So, you know, I'm talking from, you know, just being a normal fucking person, you know. The reason I think religion is shite is because, you know, when I was growing up, you know, I was growing up in a family who, they weren't theologians either, and they weren't really hot, you know, firebrand religious, but, you know, they were taught religion from their parents, but most of religion didn't really have any influence upon their life. They had to get work, earn money, pay their rent, buy food, clothe their kids, get them to school, all that shit. They had to do all that crap. And that was all more important than whether God exists, right? And you would think if God existed and we all had to fucking worship him, you would think that, you know, we'd be living in a theocracy where, you know, religion governed your lives. Surely that's how God would have set the world up, but it's not how God set the world up. So, if he didn't set it up that way, yet he could, and he's all powerful, maybe he just doesn't exist. I'm just saying, this is what struck me as a child. No, when people told me how powerful God was, and I seen how little he influenced my life, I thought, if I was as powerful as that, I would make sure I influenced everybody's fucking life. So, if that's just me, apart from this bullshit fucking answer that people give, well, nobody understands the mind of God, and yet every fucking day, if you listen to a religious person talking about God, apparently he does influence their lives that much. So, it's sort of like, well, if you could influence it, and they don't understand the mind of God, but they keep telling us that, no, God is trying to get to us, but he doesn't get there, maybe it's because he's not there. That was just a simple premise. I mean, I don't know if I'm talking from a philosophical fucking point of view or not. I'm just talking from a simple person. You know, when I was a child, you know, I'd never been taught philosophy, and to this day, I've never really been taught philosophy. The only understanding I have of philosophy is how it affects me, and how philosophy is actually, you know, an examination of how we think and process, you know, information, and how we get to this, you know, to the understanding that, well, if I put my fucking finger in a fire, I burn it, and therefore I don't no longer put my finger in that fire. That's basic premise of philosophy, I would think. You know, there's bound to be a philosophical fucking phrase for what that is. You know, you try something, it burns you, you feel pain, you don't do it again. You've learned something, you know what I mean? And through my life I've learned, you know, from a fucking very early age I learned that, no, God doesn't exist. If he did exist, he would obviously punish me for the things I did bad when nobody was watching. And yet he didn't. Hold on. Fucking stop buzzing, you fucker. Right, I need to fucking sort that. I need to sort that shit. Stop fucking buzzing! Yeah. Oh, it's the jack into the back of my computer for my speakers. Yeah, so yeah, I pretty early on understood that, you know, the stuff that my family was taught about religion, the stuff they taught me about religion, wasn't in order for me to believe in God and worship him. It was so that whenever I talked to other people in the street and they talked about God and angels and all that shit, you know, and prayers and all that, that I would at least understand what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I mean? Otherwise, if I had never been taught any of that shit and somebody started talking me to God, I might be in the position of saying, well, that's amazing, I've never heard of that before. Tell me more, you know. Please tell me more. This is interesting. This is new shit I've never heard. And I might have been conned into fucking going down the road of joining some fucking crazy church, the Moonies or some fucking thing, you know. But it'd always be some, you know, Christian. But it'd always be, you know, the Church of Scotland or, you know, Baptist church or the Catholic church that they taught. It could have been a Mooney or some crazy fucking religious cult that wanted me to go and live in an island somewhere and then drink the fucking Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? So no, I was inoculated, is what I would say. My family told me enough about religion to inoculate me against religion, but let me understand that I still had to live my normal fucking life. I'm a normal person, like you, millions of us, and there's all these crazy fucking people who, you know, want to fucking get you to join their clique, their wee school, their wee fucking, you know, holiday camp, where you go and you give them fucking 10% of your money. They get to live in a big fucking house while you're starving to death and can't feed your kids. But they don't give a fuck, because there's millions of yous and there's only one of them. One for every million. And that's how they become millionaires. They become millionaires and live in big houses, and they go around writing books and becoming rich and doing debates and getting on TV, and, you know, Fox News gets them on all the fucking time, you know, all the crazy people. And I'm not talking just about religion, I'm talking about politics now as well. Because this is the thing, religion isn't just the only fucking stupid thing in fucking life that you come across, you know what I mean? Politics is another one. When you join a political party, you're signing up to say, I believe that this political party has all the answers, and I'm only ever going to listen to them and do what they do. It's just like being a in religion. You know, so my cat's just come in. So yeah, so it's the same fucking shit. I was inoculated against you know, politics badly, because when I was growing up through my teen years, there was only really one reasonable party for a Scottish person to vote for, and that was the Labour Party. Then they became New Labour, and I started to doubt why, you know, when Blair and that came in, I hated the fucking Conservatives in my life because they're fucktards and they hate fucking poor people. You probably see that in America as well, but you've seen that, if you're British, you've seen that in Britain. The Conservatives have always hated fucking poor people. Now suddenly, you know, you get well, in the 70s, getting into the 80s, 90s, the Conservatives. Then, you know, in the 90s we got fucking Blair, the New Labour, and they were like fucking, they weren't Labour anymore, they were like Conservative light, you know what I mean? You know, they totally fucked up the country, you know, which is why I'm now I support, you know, Scottish nationalists, you know what I mean? But it's not like, you know, I'm going to love the Scottish and anything they do is going to be great. No, I'm waiting for us to get independence, and then I can vote the Scottish nationalists out and get somebody else going to do some better things for fucking Scotland. I'm always willing to change who I vote for, depending on what it is they're offering me as a voter, you know what I mean? And you should be doing that as well. Why the fuck is a third of the fucking country in America always going to vote for fucking Republican, and a third always going to vote for Democrat, no matter what the fucking shit they say on the fucking stump, and a third in the middle are like, no, independent, but they're not independent because they're always going to be swayed by one fucking thing or another, you know? So I mean, it doesn't make sense to me to be a joiner, to be a club member. Because once you're in the club, you're expected to uphold the club's traditions, you know what I mean? And what is traditions? It's thinking something that was working 50 years ago is still going to be working today, and we've got to uphold it and always do it the same way. Well, it's always worked, you know what I mean? So we should always do it like that, you know what I mean? We've always done it that way, so we should never change. Fuck that. You can't go through life thinking that because something worked 50 fucking years ago, it's going to work today. But now you've got religious people telling you, well, it worked 2,000 years ago, so it's obviously got to be true today, which is not true. Life fucking changes. We change. Your political fucking system changed in America, didn't it? Yeah. Who was Republicans and Democrats, like, no, back in, I don't know when it was, about 1920 or 1910 or something, you know, they've swapped over. The people who were Republicans and people who were Democrats back then are now the opposite. You know what I mean? Because something happened, and I can't remember what it was. I'm getting a bit drunk now. Let's have a little fucking slug. And then the people who were Republican became Democrats, and the people who were Democrats became Republican. And look at the fucking state of your country now. Nobody knows who's Republican and who's Democrat. There's a Republican who's just decided, I didn't run as a Republican in 2 elections, so now I'm going to run as a Democrat, and I'm going to change my name to Tersse Chavez, or whatever he's fucking, you know, because I might be able to convince some Spanish people to vote for me if I change my name to a Spanish name. And that's a big Spanish name. That's a guy who helped fight for the rights of poor Spanish workers way back in, I can't remember when it was, the 50s or something, you know. So he's changing that. He's went from Republican to Democrat, changed his name to Severus Chazi, or whatever his name, no, Tersse Chavez. Oh, I can't remember the fucking name. And I think it's fucking hysterical. It's hilarious, man. You know what I mean? But you know, this is the thing. I mean, I was inoculated against religion when I was a child. I mean, between the age of 5 and 8, I knew it was all shit, and understood why my family didn't take me to church every fucking Sunday, but made me understand that there is religious people and you should know what they're talking about when you come across them. I was inoculated. You know, they gave me a wee bit of religion, just enough, and then they exposed me to books. You know what I mean? Not the Bible, but to books. Books that taught me all kinds of other exciting fucking things, you know what I mean? And it was like, wow, there's all this other stuff. Why the fuck would I read that one book all my life when there's all these other books? And then I went to, you know, school, you know, and, well, I was at school when I was young, you know, but then I went to secondary school, and I went from being told about science to actually being able to do science in science class. I did biology, I did chemistry, I did physics, you know, we did physics experiments, you know, we had bits of fucking uranium, you know, not uranium, but mild radioactive stuff that we had to, you know, test the radioactivity of and then work out its fucking half-life and all that, you know, and it was like, it was amazing. I learned all that shit and it was fucking exciting and I did well to it. Now it's like, I'm starting to understand this shit. I can't understand any of the bullshit in the Bible. None of it makes fucking sense to me. None of the things that the Christian people tell me make fucking sense, but I can understand that. My brain can understand the science. Really difficult shit, but I can't understand the simple shit that's in the Bible. You know? And politics as well. I can't understand the politicians. 1 minute they're saying one thing, and then they flip-flop, and the next week they're saying something different because they get bad press. Because the newspapers write something bad about them, suddenly they change their mind. You know what I mean? It's like, well, what kind of fucking political party is that flip-flops here and changes there? Now the Conservatives are all getting all feely fucking touchy, and the Labour Party are trying to steal back the feely touchy thing because they stole all the central ground from the Conservatives in the 90s, and it's like, what the fuck? You can't trust politicians. They can't say one thing and stick to it, even though they say they stick to it. They're all flip-flopping everywhere and they're contradicting themselves. They're just like religion. Politics is just like religion. So you don't join a party, you look at your individual people that you're electing in your little area, and then you decide, is he going to do something good for me? And I don't want to be fucking, you know, blankered by the shite that come out with, you know, all these social programmes and all the poor religious lazy bastards stealing the rich people's money. Well, that's fucking retarded, because it's the poor people that made the rich people all their fucking money. Maybe they should get some of it fucking back when they're in dire straits, you know what I mean? Don't you rich people think about that? All these poor people made me my billions, and maybe they're going through a hard time. Maybe I should give them a raise or a bonus at the end of the fucking month to make sure that they can pay their kids fucking eat and get to school and buy some books for them and shit, you know what I mean? After all, I'm going to need some fucking, you know, their kids are going to grow up and my kid's going to take over the business. He's going to need some educated people to fucking run his business for him, because all he's got to do is sit there smoking cigars and drinking and fucking whores. He's not going to be actually out there fucking making shit with a hammer, you know what I mean? No, we're going to get the poor people to do it. So maybe we should pay them some money so they grow up and they've got enough sense to fucking do it, to kill themselves, you know what I mean? But no. You fuckers, you know, you rich cunts don't fucking know shit, and you rich people don't know shit. You all talk fucking crap all the fucking time about, oh, this and that, and you know, oh, save your souls, and anything you do is bad if it's not what I'm doing, you know what I mean? Fuck you! Fuck all these, you know what I mean? I'm a normal fucking person. There's millions and millions of normal people compared to each one of these fucking individual wankers. We should all fucking use our vote to kick the fucking lot out and put someone in there that's going to fucking change. But you got to read. You got to read, man. You got to understand what these cunts are fucking saying they're going to do. And if they say they're going to stop abortion, they're going to take away your unemployment benefit, they're going to get rid of the fucking food stamps, they're going to but they're not going to make any new jobs. No, they're going to ship all your jobs off to fucking Taiwan and fucking South Korea. You know what I mean? Well, do you know what? You should fucking vote that cunt out. He's not doing you any fucking favours. Not even if he turns around and says, but I believe in God, so you should vote for me. Fuck that. That's ridiculous shite. You know what I mean? Just because he thinks that you believe the same as he does and then he spouts it out. No. You should believe in your God, not his God. Believe in your fucking God if you're a Christian. But you should also be thinking, this politician, just because he says he believes in God, can I trust him? Because God doesn't like me, but politicians fucking lie to you all the fucking time. So why are you voting for these cunts? Guess you were never inoculated at a young enough age to understand it. Never read enough books. Because that's the thing as well. You've got to read books. You've got to read the classics. And I'm not just talking about fucking Shakespeare. You've got to read the classics. The Iliad and all that, and see how fucktardy they were to each other, how they, pretended to be this and ended up being that, you know what I mean? Yeah, the wooden horse, how they snuck into the city, you know what I mean? Because that's what they're doing. They're sneaking shit inside your head with the message that I'm a good Christian, so you should believe what I say. That's their wooden horse. I'm a Christian. You're a Christian. Trust me. You can't trust people. You can trust your God, but you can't trust people. Now, I don't believe in your God, but if you believe in him, trust him. Don't trust the fucker who's saying that I believe in the same God as you, therefore what I'm saying is true. No, that doesn't match up. People lie. Understand that. And politicians lie more than ordinary people. Your neighbour next door has got no reason to lie to you about fucking, giving £10 million to a fucking tax break to a rich guy. He's got no reason to lie to you for that, but the politician is, because the rich guy gave him £100,000 towards his re-election campaign. You've got to wonder about that, you know? I mean, fuck's sake, man. Why should we all pay our taxes, right? And, in America, you pay your taxes every fucking week, and they keep putting the taxes up. They say they're not putting your taxes up, but they do. They put your taxes up. They put bonds on this and prices on that and prices on that. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, you've got a third of your fucking wages are going in fucking taxes, state taxes, government taxes, federal taxes. Bang, it's a third of your fucking wages are going in that shit. You know what I mean? It's like in Britain, I didn't want a bridge to, in America, didn't want a bridge to nowhere. You know what I mean? I'm sure nobody wanted a bridge, I bet your fucking taxes went on it, In Britain, I didn't want a fucking tunnel from England to Europe. You know what I mean? It only helps the fucking southeast fucking coast of Britain. It doesn't help me up here in Scotland. And then this 800 billion they're going to spend on a fast rail network from London to 2 cities in the northeast coast of England. That doesn't help the rest of Britain. Why are we spending 800 billion on that when every fucking rail network in the whole fucking country needs fucking repair? In America, where's all your taxes going? Why are your bridges falling down? Why have you got potholes in your motorways? That's your tax dollars should be spent on. So where's it being spent? Well, it's being spent on tax breaks for fracking that poison your water so you can fucking light your water on fire. You kidding me? They rebuilt those schools and I don't know what state it was, a big hurricane went through, destroyed all the schools, they built all the schools. Are they putting fucking storm shelters in those schools? No. Why? Oh, there's not enough money. But there's plenty of money to give fucking farmers tax breaks, to give oil companies tax incentives, to pay companies to send your jobs over fucking seas. Plenty of fucking taxpayers' money for that, but they can't put a storm shelter in your child's fucking school? You've got to wonder, man, what's up with these fuckers? And this VA thing that's been going on, you know what I mean? Yeah, okay, these people did horrible things, but you know what? If George Bush and Clinton had paid the money towards a VA that they needed, you would have dealt with those problems years ago. If George Bush and fucking Obama had been able to pass VA fucking funding, knowing that there's another 2, 3, 4 million fucking veterans going to come back from the Iraq war and the Afghanistan war, and be pushed onto that VA, which already was in problem, already had a backlog, and you're going to add fucking 2, 3, 4 million new fucking vets asking for help from the VA, and like not an extra penny, not an extra hospital built. I hear that there's 400 spaces in the VA for doctors that have left the VA and haven't been replaced. 400 doctors when you needed to add 800 doctors and 2 new hospitals. 7 new hospitals, 17 new hospitals across your country to deal with that influx of 4 million people from the Iraq war and the Afghanistan war. And who refused to fund that? Yeah, your fucking government refused to fund it. And don't blame Obama. He doesn't own the fucking House of Representatives, no. The Republicans run that fucking shithole. And yeah, the Senate is run by the fucking Democrats, but they've actually passed these bills and sent it to the House, and it's never been fucking taken up. Boehner won't pass it through. You know what I mean? So you don't blame your president for shit that he doesn't control. He can only suggest what the Congress deals with. The Congress is your fucking problem. And no wonder it's at 9%, and yous are going to vote all those fuckers back into power. Do you know what happened in Britain recently? Yeah. We had the European elections. Do you know what happened? UKIP, a tiny party that didn't exist fucking, you know, really about 10 years ago, they won 24 of the fucking seats in Europe. 24 seats in Europe. The largest slice of the European seats from Britain to Europe. And they were a party that didn't exist years ago. You know what I mean? Why? Because people have done what I would do. I don't like the politician that's there. He's never done anything for me, so I'm going to vote for someone else and see if I'm going to give him a chance. I can vote him out in 5 fucking years, but I'm going to give him 5 years. Let's see if you can fucking do something for me. You know what I mean? You need to start doing that in America. You need to start saying, incumbents, get the fuck out. But you've got to stop thinking, well, I just want to pick the most right-wing fucker, because he's just worse than the guy you're getting rid of. You've got to start going back to the centre. I'm not saying go left-wing, for fuck's sake. I'm not saying get a progressive or a Democrat in there, but you've got to start keeping up with the times. You know what I mean? You've got to say to yourself, yeah, I don't like all this spending, but you know what? A country has to spend money. It's what you spend the money on. You want people who are going to say, I'm not going to give money to oil, I'm not going to give it to gas, I'm not going to give it to coal. They are old industries. I want to rebuild our motorways, rebuild our bridges, and start to get into the new technologies of the future. If you're too old to understand what the future is, go online and fucking read about it. And don't just say, well, I don't believe that because it's not coming from one of your normal right-wing, crazy fucking mental people's sources. Try and look at what's good for you. What would be the outcome of my action, you know? Actions have consequences. If you keep voting in further and further right-wing fuckers, what you're going to end up with is a theocracy. You're going to end up with God telling you how to live your life. You know what I mean? Rather than politicians. You want politicians who at least respond to what you think should happen. God doesn't have all the answers. He's not omnipotent. Or is he? But no, God's not omnipotent. God doesn't speak to you. When you have a politician on there saying, I'm a godly person and I think this is what God wants the country to be, you know he's lying. He doesn't have a fucking hotline to God. Anything he says that mentions God, he's only doing it because he thinks that you're a Christian, and if he mentions God, you're going to vote for him. That's the only fucking reason he's saying that. For all you know, He's fucking hiring whores at the weekend on taxpayers' money and snorting coke, which many of them do because they all keep getting caught every now and then, you know what I mean? So that should be it. That should twig you in your mind up. That should be, oh, yeah, he get caught. Well, fucking another fucking 30 or 40% of them are doing the same fucking thing. They just haven't got caught yet. So stop voting these people into fucking power, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, the Koch brothers, Sorensen, all those wankers, I'll just stick a fucking 90% levy on their income over the next fucking 5 years. I'm not saying forever, I'm just saying for the next 5 years, America's in trouble. And you rich American patriots, you should fucking ante up and help us out, get America back on the path of righteousness. So we're going to tax you 90% for the next 5 years. Then we'll reassess it. We'll probably drop it to like 70 or 60, you know, for the next 5 years. And then we'll bring it back down to like 50 for the next 5 years. And then we'll bring it down to, you know, 30 or something. You know, we'll eventually get back there, you know what I mean? But for the moment, you've had 30 fucking years of, you know, constantly giving you tax breaks. Now it's time for it is to give you tax increases. You know what I mean? It's a fucking wave function. Life is a wave function. Ups and downs and ups and downs. That's the way we live our lives. We all fucking know that, you know? So it's time for the rich to understand that the wave function is going up on the fucking taxes. You know what I mean? Then we can lower it on the poor. We can raise your fucking, you know, hourly fucking, you know, wage, you know, income, you know what I mean? And then you can all pay taxes, you can all stop taking fucking food stamps, you can all go off the dole, we can all get a job repairing your bridges and motorways, you know, you can bring the jobs back from overseas, start producing fucking steel to fucking build your motorways and your bridges, you know what I mean? You can produce the best cars in the world, you can produce fucking the best fucking solar collectors in the world, and you can sell it around the world, you can export that shit, you could build a beautiful fucking country again. It's going to take 20 or 30 years, but that's what you've got to do. In order to do it, you've got to tax the fucking shit out of the rich. Why should bankers, right, pay no fucking tax, no investment bankers, why should they pay no tax on the thousands or the millions of fucking, you know, transactions they do every fucking day? And yet every time you go and buy a loaf of bread or a pint of milk, you're just taxed on it. You get what I mean? It's like, how the fuck does that work out? Every time you fucking change a tyre as an engineer in a garage, you know what I mean? A mechanic in a garage, you know, you pay tax on it, you know what I mean? Fucking Britain, every time I buy something there's 20% VAT tax on it. Why is that when the fucking investment bankers pay no tax on all the transactions they do? Because that's their job. Their job is to do transactions. So how do they not pay tax on those transactions? But every transaction I do, every transaction you do as a normal person gets taxed to fuck. But these cunts escape it? How does that work out? How are they being so fucking privileged? Does God love them? I fucking don't think so. Some of them are fucking evil bastards, you know what I mean? I'm sure God doesn't love them, so why are they getting fucking escaping the tax fucking cycle, you know what I mean? No, fuck that, tax the fucking shit out of them. Why did we have no tax on fucking people selling shit on the internet? They close your shop down in the fucking, on your local fucking, you know, main street, so you go down there, it's closed. Now you've got to buy a computer in order to go online and risk putting your card fucking details on the internet where someone can nick it and fucking empty your bank account. You know, you've got to do that shit, and they're not getting any tax taken off them when you buy something for them. No, fuck that. They should be paying fucking 15 or 20% tax on that, just like you do when you go to a store. You get your local fucking tax from your state, and you get your government tax, you know what I mean? They should be paying that shit as well. That way they might find it more worthwhile just to keep the store open in your main street, you know what I mean? And if they don't have it in stock, you go on the computer and order it and you can pick it up in a day or two. What the fuck's wrong with that? Anyway, I think I've rambled and you know, I've been all over the place, but I think, you know, you get the gist of what I'm saying. The world is a shitty fucking place because we make it a shitty fucking place. Us human beings, our politicians, our religious fucking leaders, All you cunts who sit there and support those religious leaders and those shitty politicians without thinking about what you're doing, you are making the world a fucking horrible place to live in. And it's time you stop fucking doing it. Anyway, that's it. That's my video. I don't even know what I'm going to fucking call this, you know what I mean? I think it would just be a mind fuck. Yeah. Just be a Tersse mind fuck. Fucking 10,689,152 or something fucking, you know what I mean? Sanjiva.